questions to ask, right? I campaign with the confidence rising. I told WDF don't switch, good times are coming underneath and deep diving. Fan cams, reactions, watch along, still the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South, they flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.
That was already on the bed. Big up everyone, good evening. Hope you're doing well, hope you're good. This was originally going to be scheduled for 7:30. However, Palace have confirmed that their game, the under-21s game against Leeds, will be shown on Palace TV. So we're going to be back at 7 o'clock or 6:55, in fact, for the under-21s watch log as well. So sorry for the sudden change of plans with the time, but we thought, oh snap, it's going to be on Palace TV. We're doing a watch along, 100%. Anyway, we're here for the presser. Now, this was long. It was about 17 minutes, I believe. So I'm going to get through this as quickly as possible. Obviously, engage with you lot in the chat who's here. Big up to Cody, I see him already. Said, Wagwan Palace family, big up Rich, big up to you indeed. Thanks for the support as always. But let's get into it. So then I can have a quick something to eat and then we'll do the watch along. About 6:55. Right. So Robert's Art says, good news on the contract front with Ayew and Johnston. Roy says, absolutely. First Michael earlier in the year, now these two. I believe the club are working hard with Eze and are confident that it won't be too long before they can announce him too. It's great that the players that we've got want to stay and to keep committing themselves to the club. He would then ask another question regarding Ayew a bit later on, and he said, Ayew has got better and better. He's been one of the club's best signings. He's given us 6 years of service. He's reliable and gives us 100% in attack and defensive areas. He's had a really good start, and if we can keep that going for 38 games, we will be happy. And you know what? It was definitely good news. This week, both Johnston and Ayew committing. I know Ayew divides opinion, but for me personally, like, especially this season, he's been probably our best player, one of our best players. You know what I mean. So it's so important that he stayed. Not only that, if we're going to bleed in a lot of youth, fingers crossed, we're still going to need some sort of experience there, and I think Ayew will be great for that. Obviously, with SJ, that's great news as well. I'm happy that he signed a new deal, 100%. I'm thinking, why on earth did we sign Henderson? I was thinking that anyway, but now that Johnson's signed a new deal, I'm thinking, what's going on? The only thing I could think of, and this also goes with like Elise and Eze, because they've signed new deals. My thought process is that it's probably going to do with the release clause and changing the release clause and that. So I guess it might still be a case where Sam Johnson leaves next season after, but at least then we're going to be getting a bit more than we could have had if he'd stayed on his current contract. You know. Big up, Chris. Hope you're doing well. Guys, make sure to check out LTID TV. Always give me banter. He calls me Lionel Richie. I call him Peter Griffin. It's all bad, but you know what? Big up to you. And Leicester flying. Huge game, actually. Is it tonight? Massive game against Leeds tonight in the Championship. But to be fair, Leicester flying in the Championship. So we expect them back in the Prem anytime soon. Ayew definitely the engine of our team so far this season without Eze and Elise. 100%. And obviously we could say, I wish we could get some more goals or more assists. But you know what? 1 goal and 3 assists so far this season. That ain't too bad. Oh my God, Peter Griffin, I forgot that he is. It's what it is, but listen, this is what we do. This is the banter we have, 100%. Listen, hurry up, get back to the Prem. I know you'll talk about retirement, but if you come back to the Prem, we've got to have one last ride, before you retire, 100%. Pause just in case. Right, any time frame on the Eze contract news? Now, Roy said no. These matters are dealt with by Parish and Dougie, and they keep me informed. I don't have any impact on that. Certainly, they are optimistic that it won't take too long to get him to commit. Obviously, the rumours are that Eze is very, very close to signing a new deal. Once again, it might just be a case where he signed this deal, he still leaves in the summer, we get more money for him. But either way, if he doesn't go, it's even better for us, you know, that both him and Michael are looking to commit, you know. Now, this is the interesting bit to it for me personally. The amount of time Roy mentions Eze and Elise coming back throughout the whole press conference. But I'm going to share my viewpoints. I might be overthinking it, but I'm going to share my viewpoints. Let me know what you think later on. So he said, on Elise and Eze, where are they injury-wise? Roy says, both making good strides. We've had the benefit of Ebbs taking part in training as normal. With Michael, the sports science team are a little bit more careful with him, so haven't released him to us to the same extent they would like to have with Ebbs. But he has taken part in parts of the training session, and he's looking good. I'm hopeful that next week he will be able to be released to train with the group fully before the break, without a doubt, and hopefully for the Everton game. It will be dependent on how both of them deal with the week's training. Ebbs would have had 2 weeks training and Michael 1. I must say they look good. And obviously the recent reports have said that Eze is confirming that Hodgson has said that Eze will be in the squad tomorrow against Burnley. So that's a good sign. Whether he'll start is another matter, but it looks like he's back in the squad. Tariq Mitchell, not too serious. And Roy says, no, he felt his quad in the game and it was more precautionary that we took him off. He's trained all week. So that's also good news that Mitchell's managed to come out of that kind of, honestly, I could not see a Ward and Klein fullback situation. You know, so really, really good news on Mitchell. Chris saying here, yeah, new champ record of 10 wins in a row. If we win tonight, good luck for the season. See you next season. Love that. Now, Leicester doing bits. Bring Vardy back to the Prem, and he's done well. On that, Chris, what's the Iheanacho situation with you guys? Because I know he's in the last year of his contract, but is there any inklings that he will sign a new deal? Like, what's the situation with that if you're still there? Big up Henry. He says, I don't see how Henderson displaces Johnston, even if he earned the place on merit. The guy can't stay fit. Absolutely. And this is why this financial thing, it just doesn't make sense to me personally. If Johnston was leaving, then fair be, you know. But now that he's signed a new deal, it's like, it's crazy. But look, put that aside. The fact that he's so injury prone is a massive issue, you know, and that's why Nottingham Forest, I think he was even having a medical with Forest before he signed for us, and Forest were like, nah, you know, and we were like, oh, come on then, come on over. Anyway, Cody said here, can you imagine not having Mitchell disastrous? 100%. When Klein came on against Spurs, bless him, every time a ball's passed in his area, he's just always looking around. Like, he's running back towards his own goal. He's always looking around. He doesn't know where the football is at all, which is crazy. But my thing would have been, and this is me personally, if Mitchell wasn't fit enough, then play Adam Ramola. You know, honestly, we just need to have someone that's naturally left foot. Even if he doesn't have a great game, so be it. Just give him a chance. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully staying, depends if we go up or not. If we don't, he will go, and good luck to him. But if we go up, good chance he will stay. He's a star. Okay, that's fair. That's fair enough. Now, honestly, on a selfish level, I'm hoping we could get him on a free transfer. But I think his contract runs in end of the season. Wan-Bissaka's contract runs end of the season. But I believe that Man United will trigger the additional option so that he doesn't go on a free. But the free transfer market might be interesting this season. And I know we don't spend money, so we got to utilize that. Right, next. Any updates on Topkins or Ferguson? Roy says, no, neither of them are fit. I don't have any real updates on Nathan at all because he's over at the academy. But I know he got injured in the Monaco game, which I watched, which is a great shame because he played so well. Tomkins is getting close and Dean is still working through his injury as well. Just on this what he said here, I don't have any real updates on Nathan at all because he's over at the academy. Hello? Aren't you meant to kind of find out as first team manager anyway? Like, surely you'd want to know what's going on with not just the first team players, but the academy players as well? Or is it where you don't really care and your apology wasn't really real? I don't know. But to say that you don't know is a bit like, no, surely, like, go on. You're the first team gaffer. Like, you need to find out about your players. Where was it not? So it was like Company versus Hodgson, Young versus Old, Apprentice versus Master. And Ray says, young versus old. I can't get away from that, but I don't believe in that. Being young and old doesn't bring any particular advantages with it. People will relay experience to me, but he seems like a pretty experienced man to me with all the success he's had over the years, not only with his club side, but with Belgium. So he brings plenty with his team, no doubt about that. And he's just referring to Vincent Kompany. Obviously, he's just started off his managerial career. And he did a very good job with Burnley last season, to be fair. He did decent with Anderlecht as well, I believe he was with when he was coaching them for a bit. And obviously, this is his first big test. And honestly, for him, the next couple games they're crucial because you know what? You'd like to think he'll get a chance, you know, because of what he's done. But the Premier League is so ruthless that I think there's 2 more games before international break. Let's just hypothetically say he doesn't win any of them. Listen, heads roll in this league. They're so like ruthless in a sense with the decisions with managers. So yeah, it's going to be a waiting game with him. But like, hopefully he doesn't pick up anything from tomorrow, to be honest, because we need to go out there and beat them. Can you see a bit of a younger Ray in him? Ray says, I don't know him well enough. I haven't seen much of him. I admired what he did at Burnley last season, and I admire the way he handled himself this season and the games he's had in the Premier League, and I'm convinced he's very good. But it's wrong of me to suggest I know a lot about Vincent Kompany. I know more about him as a player than a manager, but I admire what he's done. And that's just right, just being nice as always. He's very bright and approachable, just like you. I feel the reporters were proper sucking up to Roy as well, by the way. Just by the way they word some of these questions today. It was crazy. Oh no, it was yesterday, in fact. So he's very bright and approachable, just like you. Some say he's the inevitable replacement for Pep when he decides to move on. Is that a step too far at this stage of his career? Do you know how crazy this question is? Kompany, the next step for Pep. Like, Pep's nuts, like, as a manager. Why are you trying to put pressure on Vincent Kompany, who's been in management, 3 years? You know? It says, only he can answer that. We've seen Frank go back to Chelsea twice, where he's a legend of the club, to some extent Steven Gerrard, but not to Liverpool as of yet. It's always the case when you get a legendary player who's so good and knowledgeable about the game that there's discussions about the player going back to where they were successful. Yeah, so he's kind of just obviously referring to the whole aspect, like Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, obviously now Kompany, he's going to have links back to Man City. You know, that's just always the sort of talk. I think even with Vieira, there were links of him not only being linked to Arsenal, but also him being linked to Man City as well. You know, because obviously he's had previous links there, Vieira not as a player, but as a coach. So they throw all these things about willy-nilly anyway. Roy doesn't care about the academy players, obviously. Yeah, I just found it strange him saying he doesn't know that what about Ferguson's injury because he's with the academy. That's weird. Such a weird comment. If Ez's contract goes through and we can keep them for another season, it's got to be very exciting for a new manager. That is massive, actually. That's a good point. Bear in mind, depending on who that new manager is, because it could be Paddy, it could be Gareth Southgate. I hope it's neither. You know, I hope it's neither. Big up now. I hope you're doing well, my friend. So I swear they said the same thing about Vieira there you go, being Pep's successor, and we saw how that turned out. Don't go anywhere. I mean, I've not actually tracked Strasbourg. I don't know how they're doing. I might check that out before we end. See where they are in the league. Right. Next, it says he's finding it hard to stay in the Prem with Burnley than he did trying to get into the Prem. And Ray said, yeah, it's a very tough league, and it gets harder and harder because the gulf between the Prem and the Championship, but there's also a gulf financially within the Prem. The top teams are investing so much money, bringing in so many top players. Every team is physically fit, so it's coming down to what each team is lucky to work with. I think this was a sliding at the board. Every team is physically fit, so it's coming down to what each team is lucky to work with. Yeah, slightly at the board, to be fair. He continues. To be fair to him, he's had players brought in, but it was never going to be easy for teams like Burnley and Crystal Palace to compete with the top because their resources are so much greater. So just referring to the fact that the resources of the top teams are so much greater that teams like Burnley and Palace, it's going to be hard for them to compete. He continues. I haven't seen them that much. I haven't seen much of them. But I saw their opening game against Man City and they played well, which they did. They lost, but they had City pegged back. They arguably should have beaten Forest too. They're trying to make a good fist of things, and we expect a difficult game. Now, I know they've been struggling, but we've got to be on our A game, because, I mean, one of the reporters mentions it later on in this, and he actually says that I think Burnley's only win has come away from home. Now, as you know, what we like doing is giving opportunities for teams to break their ducks. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. So fingers crossed we don't mess this up tomorrow, man. I really hope not. So just bear with me. I'm just trying to find. Is it this one here? I hope so. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, because the next question was relating to last week's comments. Obviously, last week, Friday, after the game, he made some damning comments, to be fair, regarding the youth. Just I'm going to just share screen. And thanks for your patience, guys, because honestly, this laptop is dead. Right, so I'm going to bring that up in a minute for you lot to read along with me. A few more comments. JC saying here, Fonseca would be interested with that. 100%. He'll do bits. 100%. They're on L in the French league. They were a very attacking team, and they have the lowest XG and shots in the whole league. Vieira turned them into a RHEA team. I say struggling. He is struggling. Has there been an ultimate decision with the board over what's going to happen with Everton? No, I don't think that. You know, I'm going to see if I can find that out, and I'll get back to you when it's a watch along. Yeah, I'll ask someone, but I don't know. It seems all up in the air. So it's a right mess. I guess obviously the recent passing of Bill Kenwright might have slowed things down a bit as well, like in what they're planning to do. But yeah, I'll see if I can try and remind myself to chase it up. There's an Everton fan I know, so I'll ask them. Cool. All right. Let me share screen. There we go. All right. So now, this is why I said earlier, I feel like reporters were, the way they ask questions, it's almost as if they didn't want any bite back from Roy. Here's how it was. I shortened it because it was a very long question, but the report was very tentative. It was like, but basically it was relating to the three youngsters. As a soundbite, it looks to be taken out of context. Are you for real? What do you mean as a soundbite has been taken out of context? You were asked about, I mean, I'm talking to the report here. Ray was asked about the game. It was Roy's decision to start just talking about the fact that the substitutes made the team weaker. And so why are you talking about it being a soundbite like someone clipped it up intentionally and started posting it around? I thought, like, no, come on, do your research, your reporters. Stop trying to, like, mollycoddle unless you feel like you're going to get kicked out of Selhurst Park and never ask a question again. I don't know. But, yeah, 100%, Cody. They're shook. Like, that wasn't the question. The question is, like, what's your thoughts on what you said last week? That simple. You know, anyway. that defense and company of Burnley. On his young players, right. So hopefully this is going to scroll up the same time I read this. Right. Okay, Roy's response. And this is a long one, so bear with me. It was wrong of me in the disappointment, I suppose, of the game. I was rather hoping that even at 2-0 we could mark some sort of recovery. We didn't, not until the last few minutes. I think that sometimes in the press conference directly after the game, one is tempted to say things that you certainly shouldn't say and really don't mean. We have great faith in our young players. We think that they're going to do. We think that they are going to be extremely good and they're making very good progress. I did make that point, and the reporter goes, "Yes, you did." And it's just like, suck up. I think it's a bit unfair to expect more of them, as I'm suggesting I did expect on that evening. That's very unfair for me and wrong of me. And I've actually spoken to the three of them to explain that and apologize for actually doing so. Now that, Roy, well done on that part. Whether or not Paris knocked on your door and said, "Hey, fix this problem," I don't know. But well done for doing that. And well done for each coming up publicly and saying that you've done so. All right. But the bottom line is that without Eze and without one or two other senior players in the department, the midfield and the attack, we are reliant upon arts in 19-year-olds. And don't forget, in the case of Frank and David Ozil in particular, they've hardly played any senior football. So once again, he's mentioned Eze and other senior players, obviously Elise. The amount of times he mentions their name in this press conference says to me, it gives me back vibes like, yeah, you just can't wait for them to be back. Don't get me wrong, we can't either, but it's like, let them come back. Hopefully we don't need to see these youth. I don't know. I might be overthinking this. He had played a few games in Brazil before he came to Palace. Mateus, but then he's only played half a game against Monaco. So to suggest he's going to go on against Tottenham and change the game, I mean, I didn't expect that. And I don't think anyone else could expect it. We are happy with them. We're happy with their development. They're getting better and stronger all the time. And of course, maybe the next time they get their chance in the team, it will be perhaps in a slightly stronger team, and it might not be played against the Tottenham Hotspur, who are 2-0 up and pretty much in control of the game at that point. The fact that the press, have been able to use a quotation from me, which suggests I'm blaming the young players for that, that's very tough on them. But I accept the responsibility. I said it. I shouldn't have said it. I have told the players that, but it certainly isn't something that I believe in. Right? I'm not going to lie. You can't start pinning this on the press. You know what the media is like. You didn't have to say what you said, period. And now you're trying to say that these are sound bites. You said it. These were your words. Anyway, the young players we've got are good ones, and they will become good, very good ones. And they'll get back more and more help now if they get into the team, because with Eze and Elise coming back, I think we'll be a stronger attacking team anyway. This guy can't wait. Don't get me wrong. We can't wait either. We're so happy that Eze and Elise is coming back, but he's making out that these kids are only going to be able to do okay when they're back, when he should really have given Jez, especially Jez, and even a HAMMOND to an extent, but he got the ankle injury, to be fair. He should have given Jez, especially Jez, a lot more minutes. Because once Michael's back, Jez is still going to be seeing the 20 minutes that he sees now, because Elise is going to start, and obviously Elise is a better player. It's as simple as that. But anyway, that was the long Roy segment. Let's see. Reported Soda Road Roy, 100%. Way in full effect. Yeah, that backtrack was mad. I Roy figured it out. He effed up. Yeah, he did. 100%. He messed up big time. Crazy. Unreal. Okay, a few more bits. Some may say that this could be used to send a message to the board. So I'm glad they actually said this, because I think he did want to send a message to the board. He just did it in the most stupid way, personally, But he said, no, I wasn't doing that. The board and I are aware. If anything, it was a statement made that we couldn't do anything in those 20 minutes after the second goal. We need to turn things around. Why? Why can't we do anything? Football's a funny game. It just takes. Look, we scored in the 94th minute, and we could have got an equaliser with a half touch with France. You can't just say we're not going to do anything. Do you understand? Like, you can't have that mentality. Yes, it's not going to be easy. Anyway, and to use a quotation from me which suggests that I'm blaming the kids, that's tough on them. You did blame the kids. I accept responsibility. I shouldn't have said it. I've read that bit already. That was the second part to the thing. Just saying him reiterating that with the likes of Eze and Lisa come back, there'll be more of an attacking threat. He was then next starts. He said, on paper, the next 5 are winnable games. Where I said, yeah, that's going to be said. We just had 2 tough fixtures. The teams we're up against will be fighting just like us to get us far away from the relegation zone. Teams are all in the same ballpark. Hopefully we can provide a good performance. I thought that we were good for long parts against Tottenham, and we need to match that level in the next game. And with Eze and Elise back, we can even score a goal or 2. He's mentioned that again. He can't wait. Yeah, Schlupp got all of Jez's business. 100%. There was no need to play Jeff. Just saying. Right, the weather. So he basically was asked about whether he likes training in the warm weather because the weather's been mad this week. Like, I even had to go pound out real quick, get some gloves for tomorrow because we're going up to Burnley. I think the weather could be nuts. I've got to be wrapped up. He goes, every day I get out on the training field's a good day. There's no bad day for training. Next, what's the next step after the Spurs and Newcastle games? Roy says, hopefully maintain the level of structure in the team, aggression and determination. We need to take that into all our games, not just against the big teams. I agree with that totally. We have to play well in all these games, 100%. Because it's easy to go and think, oh, it's Burnley, and we'll lose 1-0 if we go with that mentality. So we've got to be on it. This is a level we can be consistent in achieving, and with more known attacking threats returning to the team, it's mentioned again, we can pose the threat that Spurs caused us that Friday night. Right. Do the results match the performances this season? Because obviously it's just, the report was saying, listen, from the start of the season, you got like 12 points in, I think it was 12 and 8. And then obviously we had to play Spurs and Newcastle. And 12 and 8 was pretty decent. Roy says, in this league, if you're ahead of the curve, i.e. more points in games, then you're doing well. 38 points will keep us in the league. To get to Europe, you'll need more than that. In simple terms, you're going to win games and lose games. Yeah, which is pretty simple enough. And lastly, Burnley's only win this season has been away from home. Is this an advantage for you? This is where I will get worried. I'm always looking for those little like subplots because we are a charity professional football club. The first thing I was looking at, have Burnley won already? They've won a game, cool, but they haven't won at home. Now it's like, oh, sugar. Trust us to be, we'll be the team that will make Burnley win the first game at home. That's what I mean now. Now it's like, you know what I mean? But Ray says, no, Burnley will be looking at this game and thinking about 3 points. They won't be looking at us and fearing us like they would have Man City, Spurs, or Arsenal. It all depends upon the day. Player performances, refereeing decisions, VAR, whether it's a penalty or no penalty. The football can hit the crossbar and go in, or it could bounce out. That could be at 1-0. It could go down to luck. So, yeah, it's just saying that, listen, we've got to take the game seriously. There could be circumstances that are against any team. They can go against any team, you know. Like I said, refereeing decisions. It could be that players are not up for it. But at the end of the day, listen, he reckons that Burnley are going to be a tough opposition. I think they will be too. I think they will be. I think we've got to just make sure that we're on the ball, exploit the spaces, especially in transition, and be clinical. That's the one thing we need to do is be clinical. And I think with Eze coming back, hopefully he'll get like 30 minutes, and hopefully he doesn't get a recurring injury. That obviously gives us another attacking threat in the final third. So yeah, that was Roy's presser. Let me just do a few more comments, and then in about 25 minutes from now, be back for the Leeds under 21 versus Palace under 21 watch along. So now looking forward to that one. Here we go. JC saying the name dropping was great. I listened to this. I was thinking to us. I ended up just copy and pasting that segment when I was typing up the notes. And so whenever he mentioned Eze and Lee, says, yep, paste. Look, I think about 5 or 6 times he mentioned them coming back. He must be so haps. I mean, we all are, but boy, trust the youth. The first team against Tottenham were dead. I still don't understand how he said the youngsters didn't do bits when we scored with them in the second half. No, absolutely. I guess, look, first half, I think we defended very well. Our shape was really good. And we actually created 2 chances in that first half, I believe. Second half, I think Hughes getting tired didn't help. And then we dropped off a bit deep. Schlupp was non-existent, period. Ward had a terrible second half. So yeah, like they obviously just stepped up a bit with Tottenham as well. Emerson Royal coming on the left-hand side made a massive difference because Davis wasn't attacking as well as Emerson Royal could. So yeah, but yeah, to blame the kids was crazy. Ryan actually has no hope of scoring without those two. Listen, he goes, oh my gosh, with them back, we might actually score a goal or 2. Roy is violating. He's like, yeah, we ain't scoring. Big up to Bargav. Hope you're doing well. Obviously, unfortunately, Arsenal out of the Carabao Cup. Yeah, who Arsenal got this weekend? I cannot remember. Hold on, let me quickly check. Let me go Discord. That'll be the quickest thing to do. Arsenal. Oh, away to Newcastle. Newcastle flying after their last 2 performances, to be fair. Hopefully a good weekend of football coming. Hopefully so. Cody says, I have faith that we're going to show the league we're back against Burnley. The engine has been heating up, and this game we released the horses and hit top gear. Listen, the Everton game, we could have our Lerma Decore pivot, Eze in the 10, Ayew on the left, Edward up top, Alicia on the right, with the likes of Jez and França potentially coming on. Can't wait. Can't wait, because boy, have we missed some of our players. 100%. Injuries, players at peak. Yeah, football great with the randomness. Every single week's a set of circumstances. 100%. And this is why I hope our players don't go in thinking, oh, it's Burnley. Because you just never know with football. You know, you just never know with football. Go Palace. This is one of the reasons why I actually wanted to watch it. I just wanted to see who's playing, because Molar's been brilliant, and I wonder if he's going to get called up to the first team tomorrow. So I wonder if he actually plays today. And same with Tayo as well. We're not sure. So actually, hold on. Sorry, the lineup should be out. Bear with me. Okay, here's the lineup. Whitworth, Danny Emre, Grayton, Sheridan, and Adaramola. No, so Mola's starting up top. Okay, so that's back 4. Reed, was Morrison, and Ozo, midfield 3. Mathurin, Ebue, and Mola up top. On the bench is Esquerdo, Ume. Oh, Ume's on the bench. Devaney, who's been brilliant when he came on. Rodney, who's just returned back from injury, and Chris Francis. A strong side, though. Strong side. And lastly, Bargav saying big game, Newcastle against Sevilla. Oh, yeah, obviously Champions League is back next week. Guys, appreciate you all. I'm going to get a quick bite to eat. And I'll be back in 20 minutes for the Palace Under 21s watch along. We might have some of the other Eagle Eye Football members on here as well. But as per usual, hit the like button. Please do that. We need to get the algorithms going a lot more. So please hit the button, share the stream, guys, share the channel, please. You know, let us continue. We're not too far off 2,000 subs, you know. But yeah, let's grow this slowly, you know. And but most importantly, we appreciate you all. But until then, see you in 25 minutes. Peace.